it's Nick here, and today I wanted to go over a fun little effect. It's like an 8-bit kind of effect that I did for this little animation just for fun. I actually made this game up around Easter time because I was excited about lots of ham. So I just want to go over a few different things that are going on here. There's a lot you can do with this effect. This is pretty basic. This animation, but you can go crazy with it if you want. So let's get started. I'm in Photoshop. I actually already cut out my Paula Deen picture that I found online somewhere, and she's just having a hell of a time on this ham. So yeah, the method that I used to make Paula like kind of pixelated in 8-bit, it's probably not the best way. I found this little tutorial on this site called howtogeek.com about, you know, taking a picture, making the colors like very sparse, and then you know, shrinking it down, then blowing it back up, and it works pretty good for the effect. However, it can be pretty tedious if you had a lot to do, so I'll show you an easier way to do this. So the more involved way would be to go into image mode, index color, and these settings look pretty good. And actually, I think I'm gonna have to cut her out again, fortunately. But if you look closely, you can see that it already looks pretty good. Then you would go into image size, shrink it down to about, I don't know, 5%. Let's go back up to 72. Now we have a super small image. Now take the image size again and go back up to maybe, I don't know, 800% of where we were, maybe 1,000%. And now we have a slightly better picture. You could play with this all day if you wanted to, and that's what I ended up doing for the original GIF, and it ended up looking pretty good. There's enough detail there, but I ended up finding a better way, a much easier way, and one that's less destructive than this. So let's step back. Let's go back to this cutout Paula, save, and let's get into After Effects. Here's my project. I'll start a new project, and I'll do, I don't know, 800 by 800. I like working in squares. 24 frames, and let's do 10 seconds. And let's import Paula. Go. Let's get her right in there. She's already a little small, but that's okay because we're doing like a low res thing anyway, so no big deal. And the way I found was to just use this mosaic effect, and that way, you know, right there it looks like something out of Cops or something. But if you increase these, you get better and better resolution. And the sharp colors just really kind of gives it that color effect that the indexing did. So if we were to maybe do, I don't know, 80 by 80, that's looking pretty good. It might not be as true to life as the other version, but it's a lot easier to work with. So the next part of this is the background. So if we want to make this like kind of 8-bit background, let's start with a solid. Let's make it comp size. Let's go back here and let's do a ramp. And this is kind of boring, so let's add a little color. That purple's pretty cool. Now we have this kind of, actually let's go darker. We have this, actually it's kind of Easter themed background, and the way to make it that cool kind of stripe is to use an effect that I really like called Posterized Time, or not Posterized Time, Posterize. And now we have these like stripy things, pretty neat. You can animate this if you wanted to. And now it just basically makes steps out of the gradient, which is kind of cool. So I think this is pretty nice at like, I don't know, 9. So now we have Paula, we have this cool background. Let's make some titles. Oops. I'm not going to make the same mistake I did the first time. I'll spell Paula Deen's name right with 2 E's, and let's shrink this down a little bit. This font is something I found online. It's a free font called 8-Bit Wonder. I'm sure there are plenty of other ones out there. I just searched for 8-bit font, and this seemed to just work for what I was doing. Let's do some colors. Okay, I've got white, and let's do this like, I don't know, pink, color of ham. Actually, it's not a bad idea. Let's just color pick the ham. Boom. A shot like that. That's terrible. And I'm just going to pick my own color because I don't like any of that ham color. Too real. Paula Deen's Ham Hunter, and I'm going to add some kind of funky shadowing to the whole thing. So let's go to drop shadow. And let's get real ostentatious with this. And just remember, like, you're really limited in how colors appear, you know, with your shades and your gradients and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind when you're designing in this framework of like 8-bit. Think of the limitations that came with that, and it's kind of like, once you can get in that mindset, it gets really fun actually. So I got this shadow just to pop it out, but then I want to make another shadow that's just, I don't know, a little kind of funkier or something. Gives it a little extra of that retro effect. Boom. You can play around with this. You can do any color combination you want. It's kind of fun just to, you know, mess around with the color picker, see what happens. That looks pretty cool. I'll stick with that for a while. And it kind of like fades into that background, which is kind of neat. Gives it this cutout effect. I like that. Cool. And then let's copy this and do down here. Whoa. Press start. And for this, I actually took the shadows off because I wanted this to kind of read pretty plain as far as the comp is concerned. So I wanted to flash, and instead of just going and doing like, you know, keyframes on opacity, hold keyframes, I'll go to strobe light and make layer transparent. And by default, this is pretty slow, not very flashy. So I just kind of fool around with these, and that's a little bit better. Alright, so now let's animate Paula here. Let's have her do something. So we know we want her to land here. I think by 2 seconds that should be a good time. She'll probably linger on screen till about 4 seconds, and then she'll fly off. So we'll start at this 2 second mark. Just kind of then I'm going to have her kind of back up and then fly off again. That's our basic thing. I'm going to want to add some easing and stuff. I might actually also play with this path a little bit and have her kind of swoop in there. Actually, since I did this last time, I'll do it the other way. Kind of have her kind of swoop in, and then kind of fly out. I'm going to want to add some easing and stuff to that. Not too much though, because I want to keep it kind of, you know, unsophisticated. But for now, that's pretty good. And I could just go up to, actually, I never really had too much luck with this, but go up to transform. It's so buried, it makes no sense. Auto orient along the path. So that will just keep the rotation in line, and that, oh man, it's perfect. And then it screws up. Oh man, it's so weird. So yeah, this kind of helps you. It keeps you from automatically, or it auto does the rotation. You know, keeps you from having to add extra rotation keyframes, but it never works out the way you want it to, I swear. And then like when you get into easing, it's just even worse. So I will just do it myself. After Effects, thank you. Simple enough too, anyway. Yeah, not too bad. Whatever. The other thing I want to do before I get into like adding any easing is, yeah, save the project. Why not? Paula tutorial. What I'd like her to do is, I just wanted to do something here. So, what I did originally was just go into the scale, and I kind of every 10 keyframes just have her kind of flip. Boom. And then copy these, paste them. And obviously that's looking pretty crazy. So what you want to do is marquee, select them, and do the hold keyframes. That way she'll just boop and then fly off backwards. So you want to make sure this is all kind of in time. And actually, it was a little slow anyway, so I'm just gonna marquee select these again. Come on. And then hold down Option and just squeeze these together. And it'll keep everything kind of in line. It would just kind of make them a little quicker. Woo! And she's backwards, which is a problem, so have her straighten up. There we go. Not too bad. So what else can we do? it was, when I was originally making this, not enough animation for me, for my liking, that she was just kind of like, you know, going back and forth. I thought something else needed to happen. So I went in here and just very, very ruggedly did a mask around her arm. I then went and duplicated the layer and then subtracted it on the other side. So now this side is the arm. This side is the rest. And hit the Y key and then drag your anchor point up to the shoulder. And what I might like to do on this other side is take this and just kind of extend it so there's not like, I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but we're not looking for like, you know, Pixar quality animation here. We're looking for something kind of wacky and funny. So we got this, we got our joint there, and then now if we just, within these parameters, it looks pretty wild. And that's exactly what I did. I had no idea what kind of timing I wanted. I just kind of wanted it to be somewhere within, you know, I don't know, between like -15 and +15. So I put it on 0, put it on, you know, wiggle, and do 215. Oh, got those backwards. 2 happens to me like every single time. Nope, had it right the first time. There we go. It's just, alright. This is getting out of control. Let's do 1 and 60. I don't know, it's kind of guess and check. I want it to be a little bit faster. And I want it to be a little less. I'm coming back around to like what I originally had. And I think this mask could be a little bit better. I mean, we're not looking for perfection, but and looks a little janky, but trust me, when you get back in here with the Mosaic, it looks just fine. And you could go pretty crazy with that, you know. I'm just doing the arm, but you could do things where she's kind of bouncing off the ham or something. Like, I don't know. I was doing this really quickly, just going for the effect, going for just some tumbler laughs, and that's it. So, boom. And one more thing I did was, man, first of all, it takes a while to come on screen here, so I'll have the Paula Deen's Ham Hunter kind of fade on. And just to sell the 8-bit effect is change the blend mode of that to dissolve, which is funny because I never ever use the dissolve blend mode, but for this it's just perfect. It gives it that kind of lo-fi dithering kind of thing, and it makes it like, it makes the edges not very sharp, which looks terrible any other time, but for this it looks pretty great. And while I'm at it, I'll just take start and boom. Same thing, got that like kind of jagged look, which works really great for this. What else can we do? I'll have this animate. It might be fun. So go from maybe, that's a little extreme. There we go. Kind of settle in like that. And then, since I want this to be like a looping GIF, I'll just and we'll have this be the end. Maybe end it a little later. There we go. Let's have that start come in like looks all right. It's not terribly perfect, but good enough for just to show you guys. The other thing I did was just add a solid. You might want to actually make it maybe twice the size of the comp, and add a particle world. Take that and parent it to Paula. Call her Paula like she's my friend or something. So obviously this is crazy, but it's parented to her, so it kind of works with her. And then you can make these particles look however you want. So make these maybe stars, maybe make them really small. And then the producer is a little high, so I'm gonna do that. And let's have some gravity. And then now they're kind of shooting out of the ham. That's perfect. So direction axis is much better than explosion for this method, and since it's parented to her, it's almost like it's a parade or something. She's throwing out confetti or some crazy crap. So cool. And then the final finishing touch for this that always makes stuff like this look a little bit better. Adjustment layer on top, and I mentioned it earlier, Posterized Time, which now we're in a 24 frame per second composition, and if we make this like 12, it's going to give it this kind of choppy look, which that's just how it looks. It's not like the RAM preview or anything. So it just, once again, kind of sells the effect a little bit, and it's pretty neat. So once we got that, let's render it. Let's do ProRes. Paula render. Now we got this movie. If we wanted to export it as like a GIF for Tumblr or something, we can go ahead and open it with GIF Brewery. GIF Brewery is this really awesome free program. A lot of people use like Photoshop for making GIFs, and I've had nothing but trouble. But this program is really nice. For one, you can just resize, so we're like at 800. If we wanted to do 500, no problem. It also will, you can crop it if you want to. You can do auto GIF properties, so it will kind of calculate how many frames it needs to be and what the delay between those frames need to be. Sometimes you'll see or you'll render out a GIF and it's like really fast for some reason, and that's because, you know, there's no gap, and then the frame delay that it calculates kind of gives it matches video. So you can do some basic editing with this. So I kind of don't like how that press start is kind of on screen when the loop begins again, so I'm gonna end it when it goes out. And then you can preview. That's perfect. And boom, there's our GIF, ready for Tumblr. Alright, well, hope you I don't know, had fun, made some 8-bit stuff that's like way better than this, and you just go nuts with it. Alright, thanks.